Welcome to Critically Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing this episode with a friend. And if you thought we were getting back into the regular action, I've got a surprise for you. We're doing something completely different again, because I know how much everyone loves this. And for many years, people have asked us to do some Pathfinder stuff. And of course, you last episode heard us create with Brian, so this episode shouldn't come as a big surprise to you, but we're doing Pathfinder, and Sam is going to lead us into a whole new world of adventure.
A whole new world!
And one thing, Sam, that we had talked about, or we as a group, had decided that we didn't want fantasy.
Yep. When we were trying to decide when you asked me to run something, I said I wanted to run Pathfinder because it's one of the systems that I am most familiar with, and I offered up a bunch of options, and I think you guys thought that like a classic fantasy, even though Pathfinder has its own world that's pretty distinct from the one that Dungeons & Dragons had, would be a little samey for you. So instead, I am running a Western.
Woohoo, a Western. So what can you tell us about time period, etc., or is this something we should find out as the game progresses?
Well, actually, if you want, I can launch right in,
let's do
and it will set the stage.
Excellent. Let's do this thing.
Our story begins on August 29th, 1880, in Mexico City. A skeptical engineer stands in a church waiting to receive a blessing. The blessing isn't for him, but for a rail spike, a 10-inch length of iron that had first been blessed at a meeting house in Pennsylvania. The railroad's owner wanted to make the voyage to Mexico himself, but was unwilling to leave the side of his pregnant wife. So he sent the engineer, putting faith in a man that had proven himself a worthy lieutenant to him in both business and battle. Significantly more interested in the church is the engineer's lovely young bride, her emerald green eyes scanning over the Gothic stonework, the ornately carved organ, and ivory crucifix, as if trying to commit every detail to memory. When the priest arrives to greet them, the engineer carefully hands him the spike and a significant donation agreed upon ahead of time for performing the service. As the priest turns to take both to the sacristy, the engineer's wife smiles and asks if she can come with him to see the relics there. The priest explains that it is forbidden, but her cajoling wears on her until he relents. The engineer is left waiting on them both, musing on the fact that his wife seems to always get what she wants from a man. When they return, the spike looks no different for having received its second blessing, though the engineer's wife is well pleased. She smiles often as she regales him with stories about some of the ancient relics over dinner, though his mind drifts regularly. He has always been far more interested in the future than the past, and he's considering the final preparations for the new project that will have to be made now that the ceremony is over. The two go to bed early to prepare to the journey back to Texas the next day. But the engineer's sleep is interrupted just hours later by the sound of his room door opening. Startled, he reaches to light the lantern at his bedside and instead pushes the lid off the box containing the spike. His hands touch the cool metal as he looks toward the pair of silhouettes standing in the doorway. "Don't worry, my love. Go back to bed," the engineer's wife coos, and he feels his eyelids drooping, his mind already reassuring him that this intrusion was just some strange dream. Then he feels a bit of unexpected warmth on his fingertips, as if the spike had given off a spark. Suddenly alert, his eyes focus, and he sees where his wife's slender silhouette appeared just a moment ago, something else entirely. He tries to hide his horror, to stifle his scream, but the thing he had called his wife and the broader, taller figure next to her can read him clearly even in the dark. "I thought you had him under control," the figure says in a familiar voice the engineer's addled mind can't quite place in the context. Then with unsettling speed, the other figure is upon him, a hand over his mouth, another gripping his throat. "Now we're going to have to accelerate my plans." As the engineer's eyes focus, he sees a man he knows, but in a terrible new light. And as the grip on his throat tightens, that focus is lost and the darkness consumes him.
Dun, dun, dun. Whoa. Now I'm scared.
That was awesome.
Thanks. So, the day is now September 13th, 1880. And the setting is Redemption, Texas, a small but growing city relatively about 2 days from the Texas-Mexican border. It is a rail boom town that has been fed both by railroads that have been coming across the country, but then also from shipments coming from the port that is just 2 days to the south of it on the Gulf of Mexico. We'll start with Rodrigo. You've been traveling for almost 2 weeks, but you have just arrived in Redemption.
All right. I try to find an inn.
Cool. So that is pretty easy. The first place in town is actually the stables. If you can drop your horse there, or you can take the horse with you and tie it up at the inn. There isn't actually an inn to speak of so much as a boarding house, which is used both kind of as an inn, but also provides a semi-permanent residence for many of the workers and even some of the locals here. And let me find the name of that inn. Yes, they're called the Green River Boarding House.
Is there actually a Green River around here, or is that
Nope,
just
it's just a
name?
name.
Okay.
Yeah, it does not appear to be anything resembling a Green River at all.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
I'll stay with my horse. I'll tie it up in front. Do they have a trough?
Yep, they've got a trough, and they've got a woman actually comes out to greet you, and she sees you tying up the horse. This is also like a fairly nice inn. You've definitely on your travels been to a lot more rundown ones,
Sure.
especially considering how this is not the nicest city you've ever been to, but whoever runs this, it's clearly just seen a lot of love. It's old wood, but well taken care of, and just kind of has a very solid feel. And a woman comes out. Oh, sorry, go on.
So this is an old building. It's not brand new from the boom.
Yeah, exactly. This has been someone who, probably this used to be before the railroad boom cattle country. So you think this might have once been a ranch house that's been converted to this property for since the boom. So yeah, this woman comes out. She's maybe mid-40s. She's got red hair that's going in fairly gray and a kind of tight bun, and has a few wrinkles around the eyes and around the mouth that look more like frown lines than smile lines, and is dressed again oddly properly and formally for the setting. It's just
I'm starting to think this place is expensive.
It's can I help you?
I would like a room for the night, and perhaps if you serve food, I would also like to eat something.
Oh, of course. I serve best boarding house food in town. This is the only boarding house in town.
Oh, sure.
So she actually quotes a fee that's relatively reasonable. She thinks you think that she's looking you over and you would say that she's probably charging you maybe a small upcharge as an outer towner's fee. You bet that the locals don't pay as much as you're being asked for, but yeah, it's not too expensive.
Yeah, if I can swing it, that's fine.
Oh yeah. You've been given.
I'm not going to haggle it.
A travel stipend, so.
Right.
So yeah, she set some, she calls Johnny out here to take care of the horse, and a kind of teenage looking boy that has a resemblance to her comes out and starts taking care of your horse.
Okay. Just thank you very much. Be careful. Do not walk behind her. She does not like that.
I didn't think any horses like that.
Well, she really doesn't like it.
Oh, yeah. Good to know. I don't want to be kicked. And you head inside. Okay. It is early evening, so it's actually just around dinner time, and it actually smells really good in here. And it looks like it's around dinner time, there's like a fair number of people. Again, you'd suspect a lot of like local people who live here, but also either live in the boarding house proper or just in town, because again, this is not a place that has a lot of like restaurants. So if you're not cooking dinner, this is probably one of the best options in town. And let's say that go with Stephen and Matthew, your characters actually do stay at this boarding house. So this is about dinner time. So you would actually probably be having dinner around as this time as well.
Okay. How crowded is it?
It's not like it's fairly crowded, but like it's not, so hard that you can't find a seat. But it's communal dining. There are long benches that everyone's sitting at. It's not like you can like have your little dark corner all to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you can have like maybe a seat next to you if you want to be a little quieter.
Yeah, I think I'd like to have an empty seat next to me.
Cool.
I do have a question.
Yep.
What's the general scope of weaponry here? Do people have like gun holsters and stuff? Just no problem, or are most people not armed? Or
no, people definitely like the woman who greeted you was not armed. Neither. The teenage boy was also not armed, but like as soon as you walk in, like lots of people have weapons. It seems pretty standard here.
Yeah, so I've got an empty seat next to me. I'm eating a modest plate. I'm sitting quietly. I'll look around, but you can tell that I'm in contemplation as I enjoy my food.
And Matthew?
I'll want to be where there is the most conversation and the most people to interact with and listen to and talk to and also listen to.
Cool. Well, then that is almost assuredly going to be a group of railroad workers. These are specifically people who work for the Miller Railroad, and they tend to be a little bit rougher lot than the Palmer guys, and are really excited because they've heard that there's going to be a new expansion. So some of these guys had been thinking of leaving town to find other work, and now they're happy to hear that there's going to be work that they can stay around. So some people are spending basically tomorrow's money on drinks, which are being dealt out, although Mrs. McDonough looks a little bit annoyed at somewhat of it. You'd think that she'd be okay with selling drinks, but like you think that she's also probably trying to redirect some of the rowdier people to another establishment.
Well, I'm certainly not going to interfere with the possible redirection of people, but I am going to make sure that any fun conversations definitely have a lot of me in them.
Oh, cool. How are you trying to put yourself into these conversations?
And probably quite obviously.
Cool.
When
so
someone will be speaking, and just interrupt.
So it'd be like, yeah, do you hear that they're gonna make it go straight through this like North Carolina, straight from here, and then like all the way to the coast. I think that this is gonna take years. Oh man, this is gonna be such good long work.
That sounds wonderful. What do we think we will do? Will there be the railroad go both directions? We will talk to people. We will see the people. How many years do you think this will be?
She like looks at you. He's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you actually do the planning of the railroad, but I'm pretty sure the trains go both ways. I don't know. They usually just hire me to put a spike in the ground and hit it a bunch.
That sounds fascinating. I've never actually had to do that. Do you use just your hands and you strike it with your hand?
No. Wait, you use a mallet. Are you looking for work on the railroad?
No, my friend. I'm just playing with you. I'm playing with you. I apologize. I'm Alder. It's lovely to meet you.
Oh, he like shakes your head. Tyson. Nice to meet you too. So you're not what? Are you from Palmer's crew? No, wait, no. You said you don't know anything about railroads. So you live here?
I do.
Oh, what do you do?
Ah, well, that is an interesting question. Have you ever injured yourself so badly that it hurt and you wanted to do something about it?
Yeah, when I was pounding on a railroad spike with a mallet, I hit myself right on the toe, and it hurt so bad.
Imagine how much worse it would have been if you used your bare hands. Think about that for just a moment. No.
Huh. He's really genuinely contemplating that.
I work with Dr. Barton, and I am, how is the word? Herbalist, I believe, is the word that I use. I have certain poultices and tinctures, which is a lovely word as well. I love the word tincture. It's fun to say. That will assist you if you're ever injured.
Poultices like a chicken?
No. That's poultry. Poultice is a large bandage.
Oh.
Sometimes infused with certain mixtures to infuse the healing. Again, when you're hitting the spike with your hand, you have the problem.
Hey! And it turns to a guy who's pretty far down the table, so he has to yell. He's like, "Hey, Mike! This guy can do healing things! Maybe you should talk to him about that boil on your butt!" Mike's like, "Shut up!"
No, it's okay, Mike. It's okay. My office is right near Dr. Barton. Just ask for Alder. It'll be fine.
So that goes on for a bit. Because as soon as basically you start talking about your office, people start coming up to you and showing you things. It's like, so I've got this rash, and they just want to show it to you now. They don't understand that they sort of understand that you have an office, but they don't understand you're here now and they're here now, and tomorrow they've got work. So, and they might not be able to find your office. So right now.
While everyone is eating, perhaps we should keep the rashes and the injuries covered. But once we have all finished with the food and the eating, so that obviously you don't want to look at a rash while you're eating. But when you do, when you're complete.
So, is everybody kind of gathering around Matthew's character?
Yeah, there's a sizable kind of group that's there at this point.
Okay. Can I get a description?
Oh yeah, Matthew, Stephen, and Rodrigo, if all of you want to offer up character descriptions, and then actually Brian, you do have your own place. You don't live here, but this is also a totally reasonable place for you to eat on a given night, and you're on good relations with Mrs. McDonough, and she let you know that she's making pot roast tonight, which is one of her better meals.
All right, yeah, I'll come partake.
And Rob, your character can arrive also in town at any point.
Okay.
In a bolt of lightning.
I don't know where you were planning on going, but if you want to where would your character go when he came into town? Town is disorienting.
Of course, town is disorienting.
It is big. There are big buildings.
I'll grab the nearest person.
The first person you encounter when you come into town is actually the stable master, because from the direction you're coming in, that would be the closest building. So the stable is, again, just a really big building, and it smells very strongly like horse. And as you kind of start getting downwind of the building, the horses start, as soon as you can smell the horses, you can hear the horses, who seem to be freaking out. There's just loud whinnying, and then you hear this kind of soothing but still somewhat projecting voice being like, "No, what's got you all riled up?" Talking to the horses. And there's a man standing outside of the stables who is wearing your kind of classic cured pants, a vest. He's got a belt around his waist that has all sorts of tools you don't recognize, and a kind of wide-brimmed hat on. He's got dark brown skin.
I'll approach whichever one of the two people is closest.
Oh, it's just the one guy and a bunch of horses.
Oh, just the one guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll approach the one guy.
And he looks at you. It's like, can I help you?
Alder Clayson, where?
Alder. That's the herbalist kid, right? I don't know. Maybe Doc Barton's office. Maybe the boarding house.
Direction?
He like points further into town.
Grumble and walk in the general direction he pointed.
Cool. He keeps trying to soothe the horses, which seem to calm down the further you get from them. And then, yeah, you can basically, through a series of other conversations that are about as awkward as that, get directions to the boarding house, which is where they say Alder is having dinner.
Head to the boarding house.
And if you're and if you would be game for dinner, then I would say August could get there at around the same time. He's coming a little bit late because he had some extra work to take care of.
Okay.
So you two can describe each other since you're going to basically intersect outside of the boarding house.
Well, they should describe themselves, presumably.
Well,
Rob looks like.
Yes, no. They should. We're not.
Your characters should look like one another. That's it.
Okay. So yes, August Westerly approaches the boarding house. He's a lean gentleman, somewhat tallish, very clean cut, slick back, black hair, a bit of sideburns. Got a fairly clean suit and vest, jacket going on, and yep, he's walking into boarding house, and he stops and sees this new gentleman here.
Any weapons?
Not particularly, no.
All right. Eshin is massive. Just a huge person. A large duster covering most of him. Slightly darker skin. And obviously gruff, terse. Not clean. He'll
hat?
Nope. Wait, yes, I have to have a hat. Never mind.
Very explicitly.
The top hat. No, stop. I'll shut up.
No, it's similar to whatever is popular in the area.
So, yeah, I mean, it would be your fairly standard wide-brimmed kind of 10-gallon, not 10-gallon hat, but like wide-brimmed hat.
Yeah. Dark brown, same as the duster.
Hi, don't believe I've made your acquaintance.
Alder Clayson?
No, I'm August Westerly. I run the local telegraph office here in town.
Where's Alder Clayson?
Well, my guess would be he'd be inside here.
Go inside.
Nice meeting you too. I will follow him inside.
Cool. And then at this point, if Stephen and Rodrigo, if you guys want to describe your characters.
Sure. My character is, as said, very quiet, average height, thin build. You can tell that he works a lot with his hands because they're very calloused. If you look a little closer, you might see a tool belt under his robe. He wears it, or maybe like a long duster type thing, but really it looks more like a robe. His hair is cut very short, and it's black hair. And you can tell that his tools probably have something to do with woodworking. And I think that's probably all you need to know. He's wearing very simple clothes. One might suspect it's maybe of a religious order.
Okay. My character is relatively tall. It's about 1.80 m, maybe. has a long black kind of traveling coat, which is mostly gray at this point. Is wearing some nice slacks and some nice boots. Has a white bandana wrapped around his head, and maybe a little bit of brown hair poking out of it here and there. He is has dark skin, brown eyes, prominent eyebrows, and is kind of handsome. He has clearly been out in the sun for a good long while. Not necessarily super sunburned, but you can tell like his skin is very bronzy right now. And he has a rifle strapped to his back. And as soon as he sees an empty chair off in the corner, he's going to go sit there. So I just goes and sits right next to Steven's character.
I give Rodrigo's character a nod. Hello, friend.
Oh, hello.
Looks like you're new to town.
Oh, I just got in.
Where from?
Mexico City.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Just beautiful place.
Your journey was pleasant?
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it is all right. Once you get out of civilization, it all just kind of gets a lot more difficult, but it's all right. It's not a big deal. I have a good horse. I have good equipment. It's not a big problem.
And what
How about you? You live here?
I do not. I am from San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco.
Yes.
I have not been there, but I hear it is very beautiful. It's on the coast.
Yes, a very growing city. Very bustling.
Oh, yes.
What brings you to Redemption?
I am looking for someone.
Who might that be?
An outlaw.
I probably don't run into many outlaws in my job.
I don't know what American laws are like nowadays, but I would suspect you probably run into a surprising number of outlaws out here.
Quite possibly.
Oh yeah. Like some of the people who are working or you've met, I mean, you don't ask that many questions, but you've seen people who've been working with you who have like scars that are clearly not from, I don't know, anything legal.
They're clearly bullet holes, yeah.
So, that guy's a criminal. That guy over there, I'm pretty sure he's a criminal.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just pretty brazen about it. They're like, oh yeah, there's a warrant for me out east. That's why I'm here. No one's going to come out here to look for me.
All right. So,
that guy's got a dead guy in his backpack.
What has this criminal done?
This criminal has taken something that the Catholic Church would dearly like back.
Okay. A religious relic.
Yes, a dangerous one, in fact.
Danger? What kind of danger?
Well, aside from just being valuable and people wanting to kill each other over valuable things, there is the fact that it is probably magical.
Okay. What kind of magic?
Bad magic.
Okay.
Well, old magic, let's say.
Old magic. I see. Well, I've not seen anyone bragging about any religious objects, although one might think that they might show up at the church that's being built.
Oh, I doubt that. But if you were to say, notice anything strange, say an unusually large group of owls or an unusual number of steelbirds in cattle, maybe let me know.
Definitely. I stay here, so I'm sure we will run into one another.
Oh, yes, I am also staying here.
Okay. Well, enjoy your meal.
Oh, thank you. You as well. Nom, 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 nom.
Nom 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 nom.
Noises are good.
So, Rob and Brian, you guys walk in?
Oh, did we get a description from Matthew?
Oh, yeah, Matthew. Physical description.
Hello. Alder Clayson is very small, very slight, very young looking, looks barely out of his teens. Broad smile, a face that's mostly forehead. Some would call it a five head. Prominent but not large ears. And curly hair that's relatively short under a completely shapeless floppy hat. He's currently wearing shirt sleeves and what seem to be woolen pants in a state of mostly repair. Basically looks like an exuberant kid.
Yeah, so what is he, like 18, 17, 18?
17,
Or
18, yeah,
20s?
that would be the
Okay.
estimate you'd make.
Okay.
Certainly 18-ish.
Mhm.
Yeah. Doesn't look a day over 18. Unless he's 19, at which point he'd look 364 days over 18. But why split hairs at this point? Did I mention the forehead? Forehead's important. Okay, I'm good. How are you?
So, Steven and Rodrigo are eating. Matthew is getting weird rashes foisted upon him.
Interacting with the locals. It's quite entertaining. You should try it.
And yeah, Rob pushes his way through the doors like he's got a purpose.
Is there a counter?
Yes, there's a bar.
Bar? Yeah. Head up to the bar.
There's a redheaded woman, same woman I described before, standing behind it. She's like setting, some tables, or she's stacking some plates, and someone is coming from the kitchen to get them. Are you checking in?
Can I have dinner?
Are you staying? If you're staying, dinner is included. If you're not, then I can just charge you for dinner.
Just dinner.
Very well. That'll be, I should have checked ahead of time to say some amount of money, but it is money that you do not have.
I'll pull out whatever currency I do have.
So yeah, would it be currency that, like, from your own people, or currency that you've been told would be appropriate here?
Probably the latter, and then the former if that doesn't work.
Okay. So yeah, so she looks at like a pouch of strange pebbles that you've pulled out, and is like, what is this?
Shannon, I think I'll take a meal for my companion here and myself.
Oh, of course, Mr. Westgolay. Happy to.
No problem.
Is this not money?
Not what we use around here. Here. This is money. I give him a couple bucks.
That's weird paper. That's not money.
Crumple up, shove in pocket. Did the lady go walk away?
Yeah, she went off to the kitchen to put in the order. And we'll say that two spaces have actually opened near where Stephen and Rodrigo's characters are sitting.
There's a couple seats open there if you'd like to sit down. We'll bring the food.
Okay. Lumber over.
Hey, Russell, how's it going?
Good, August. It's good to see you today. How are you?
Doing good.
I see you've made a new friend.
Yeah, I think he just came into town. It looks like he's kind of asking about our apothecary over there.
Look over at the boisterous person in the corner. Oh, really? And turning to Rob's character, what business do you have with him?
My own.
I see. Well, hopefully it's nothing that is going to cause trouble here in the eating area.
No.
Okay, good. And where do you come from?
Southeast.
I see. You've found quite a talkative one. I think he talks more than I do.
Yeah, he's interesting. So how's the shrine coming?
It's going good. Every day we add more to the shrine. I'm hoping it'll be done by the time that harvest is complete and we can start the fall festival.
Ah, glad to hear it.
Yes. So work is going good, and the people that the shrine will help are definitely happy. If you ever venture into that part of town, you should see it for yourself.
I'll definitely take a look next time visiting Mr. Palmer.
Yeah, Mrs. McConna comes out with a pair of big plates that are steaming hot. Randall thinks that he got basically either an extra good serving or extra large serving, but it's definitely a nicer thing than what looks like it's being given to the guy you're with. Though, this looks totally reasonable to you, to your character, Rob. I mean, there's more vegetables in here than you'd like, but, there's some good meat, although it's probably overcooked.
Mm. So was it in a bowl or was it a...
It's like a big bowl that's got some pieces of beef in it, and then lots of carrots and onions and potatoes, so very hearty, and it's got it's being served with a spoon and a knife.
Yeah. Just start picking meat out of it.
Are you using the spoon or your hands?
My hands.
Awesome. And Matthew, you're welcome to notice as Miss McConnell, she's a relatively mannerly woman, but she's clearly trying to stop herself from saying something as she walks past the kitchen, and you're probably looking for a way out of someone else showing you a weird thing that has grown in their armpit.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, you do need my help. Let me, please. Well, I will come with you. Let me follow you into the kitchen for the help that you need at this time. The help.
In the kitchen, isn't that?
Yes. No. Certainly. You were asking about those spices that I found in the field near the thing and the. So yes, you're right. We should discuss it in there. Let us go in there. We will go in there.
Okay, if you say so.
Thank you so much. I was looking for a way out of that. It somehow got out of control.
Did the guy they pointed out to me just walk away?
Yeah, he just walked into the kitchen.
I'm gonna get up and follow.
I look at August and say, we might want to keep an eye on this.
I kind of give a quizzical look back and shrug, and
we both kind of
nod towards him.
Okay, so we both kind of get up and rise and follow him.
Okay.
And turn to Rodrigo's character. Excuse me, sir. Things are going to get a little, hopefully not dangerous.
So, I mean, Alder doesn't get very far. Miss McConna stops at the kitchen. Is what are you doing here, young man?
Well, that's a very interesting question, I suppose.
I'm very busy, as you can see. And you're always a good boarder, Alder, and I don't mind taking care of you a bit. But really,
Yes, I understand. Certainly. I will go and find that thing that you are asking for, but people can come tomorrow during business hours and ask for Alder, because I am Alder, and I will, of course, take care of the thing you need immediately, and now I will go.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Alder.
Exactly. That is correct and true in 100 ways.
All right, well, can you just get out of my kitchen?
Your kitchen. Yes, I will get out of your kitchen at this time. Excuse me.
Thank you.
At this time. Thank you. I will exit the kitchen.
All right, so you exit the kitchen and find like a posse basically waiting for you right outside the door.
I exit the kitchen and walk face first into an enormous person standing near the door, I presume.
Sounds about right.
Excuse me, sir. I apologize. You're very large.
Alder Clayson.
Yes, I am Alder Clayson. How may I assist you today?
Isatai says you may be helpful.
So that name rings a bell. That is a Comanche spice trader, actually, that you've done some businesses with. He comes through Redemption every few months or so, and always has really exotic stuff. He is kind of quiet about where it comes from, but there's like especially a few varieties of mushroom that he brings that have all sorts of interesting properties.
Yes, yes, my friend, I do. What sort of help would you be requesting?
Not here.
That sort of. Well, we should return to my office. Please, return with me to my office. Let us travel across the street. Actually, it's a very very dangerous street. We will walk side by side that way. I'll walk on the inside.
Okay.
Everything okay here, Elder?
I could not even tell you.
Okay, well, yeah.
If you would like to accompany us, you certainly may. I understand there is some business of the not here variety.
If you think that prudent, I wouldn't mind tagging along.
Well, Prudent and I are ill-kept company, but at the very least, it's company that loves misery of more company, I presume.
Okay, then.
Indeed.
So, everything's okay?
Well, I don't know that I ever truly am willing to make that assumption without all of my information.
Do you need me to come along as well?
How is it they say the more the merrier?
Can I try to... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. Can I try to get a read on Rob's character?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you make a sense motive check and Rob make me a bluff check?
It's our first rolls. Oh gosh, I'm so excited. Who will botch first?
I got a 24.
Okay. Yeah, to Rob's 5. Okay, so you have just like a excellent read on him. You think this guy has never been in a city as big as Redemption, which is not that big a city.
Yeah.
B, you think he is off in so many ways. You can't really quite place your finger on it, but actually, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check to Rob disguise check?
Okay.
Okay. That's not bad.
Mine is.
Oh, yours is okay. So ignore the. You don't see anything wrong with his appearance, so that's something. But Yeah, your assessment is that this is a guy who is out of his element, angry about something, and violent.
And obviously
Okay.
completely human.
He does, he could be hiding who knows what under that giant duster, even though he's
Yep.
not obviously armed. But this guy looks like a guy who could turn to violence at basically the drop of a hat.
What do you mean I'm not obviously armed? I've got 2 arms.
At least.
At least. Yay! Brian and I are snark buddies, everybody.
All right, I am going to casually go over, pay for stuff as these guys are heading out, and then try to follow them without trying to make it not super obvious that I'm following them.
Cool. Make either your choice of a bluff or stealth check.
Well, let's see. That's low, and yeah. So we'll go
Also
with
low.
bluff.
A bluff, if you will. Or a stuff.
And anyone who cares about noticing being followed can make a sense motive check.
Ooh.
26.
That is some good bluffing. Nice roll.
Oh, thanks.
But I have a bonus to
20
sense motive.
less than that.
What are we rolling?
Sense motive.
D20 and add your sense motive
okay.
score.
All right.
I don't seem to have one of those.
Well, if you don't have one of those, that's because you don't have the skill. So roll a D20.
Awesome.
Or and add your wisdom score if you have a positive wisdom score.
21.
I don't know that your character does.
You take that back right now.
No.
Just
You
for
might
that,
want
I'm
to
going
need
to.
one of those salves for that burn she just gave you.
Unfortunately,
all
I
right.
have a room full.
Okay, so yeah, no one notices Rodrigo or flying casually. He seems to just be kind of out for a post-dinner stroll.
So did we have to beat his
Yes.
roll? I see. Okay.
Yeah, that is how your typical sense motive, bluff, or perception stealth rolls work. They are opposed rolls.
Okay, cool.
So you guys start heading back to Alder's offices, which are technically Dr. Barton's offices.
I suppose we do.
We share them. I have a portion. I have a desk in an area that's entirely mine. I have a key to one of the doors. Not all of the doors, obviously, but one of the doors, which I will use to open the door once we have crossed the street.
So yeah, Dr. Barton is out for the evening. So yeah, this is a relatively small. This does clearly look like much newer construction building for those who are from out of town who would know anything like that. It is kind of like a clean, light wood. Has a fairly like nice sign outside that says Dr. Rose Barton, and then like a much smaller sign that's like Elder Clayson's Herbs that is under Dr. Barton's sign.
Hand carved. Thank you.
Yes, hand carved and clearly, obviously so.
Lovely penmanship. Little leaves coming off of the L's. It's beautiful. It is. So we open the door, and Alder enters the office and crosses to his
this
desk,
is
which is clearly not a Reaper's desk.
So yeah, there's this desk that Alder's heading to is I imagine being pretty messy at almost all times, just like covered with like a combination of dried herbs and tinctures that are in the works, and then you've got like a bookcase behind you that's just filled with all sorts of like little filing cabinets and vials and things like that for your cures. While the area next to you is kind of like a reception area for Dr. Barton's actual offices, which go further back. Though the place has like a kind of almost like a lemony smell, because she tends to like to keep her side of the office very clean.
Less lemony to my side.
Yeah, your side smells like all sorts of crazy things.
Not necessarily unpleasant, simply not lemony.
No. Earthy.
Mm-hmm. Jasmine and cheese and things of that nature.
So once they're in, I'm going to see if I can, like, I'm guessing this place has windows. I'm going to see if I can see which direction they go, and then once they settle in on a room, I'll walk over to it and sit right underneath the window.
Yep,
and listen in.
That is pretty easy to do.
So what is it that ails you, my friend? Looking way, way, way up.
Gonna look at the other two that walked with us.
Hi.
Just kind of glance angrily at both. Take off my hat. As I remove the hat, it becomes less of a hat and more just a cloth that I wrap around my hand as the disguise vanishes.
You can make a quick knowledge nature check and a knowledge arcana check if anyone who has those.
Ooh.
Other than me?
Yeah, other than you. You know what this effect is.
Okay.
You've seen this before?
Negative on both counts.
Yep, I do not have either one either.
Well, fortunately for you guys, I
have disguise. Does that do anything?
That does not. Well,
Oh,
okay. Yeah, no, I'll give you for free. That is not normal.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna do this. This can be awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my first roll with a new character. Will it suck? Oh, it's my second roll with a new character, so it didn't suck. 17.
Is that knowledge nature or knowledge arcana?
That was knowledge arcana.
Cool. That is enough to get this effect. Yeah, that is magic. That is a magical item that is using the spell Disguise Self. But yeah, Rob, if you want to launch into what you now look like. Oh, and make me the knowledge nature check too, actually.
Matthew or Rob?
Matthew.
I think Matthew.
Okay.
Again, you already know this.
23.
Oh, nice.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah, that thing he is holding that he just pulled off his head is a band made out of chameleon skin.
Oh, I've seen this before.
So yeah, Rob, why don't you go ahead and describe what you look like without that?
A massive lizard person.
Yay!
Oh my.
Ah.
Yeah, go from standing up straight to kind of hunched forward. Elongated face, dark brown scales down most of my back, with under the chin being more of a yellow than a brown, going down to presumably going down my neck under the duster, which I am still wearing. You can now see a bulge in the duster where a tail should be.
Mm-hmm. Is this something that Alder might be familiar with?
Yeah, considering how good that knowledge nature check is, I'm going to say yes. You've heard of lizard folk. They go by, there are a lot of different names for them. Some of them come from names that local Native American tribes have given them that they seem to adopt for themselves. Some Europeans who have talked about encountering them call them saurians. They are a very old people. Not as old as your mother's people, but old. And they predate humans in North America. And they tend to stay out of civilized areas for obvious reasons. And yeah, Rodrigo, you can feel free to have heard people being like, ah! So,
Yeah, I'll peek in when that happens.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you see that this guy has turned into a giant lizard.
Lizard.
A giant lizard.
I've heard of dragons, but I've never seen one like this.
He's
He's not a
Dragons are my
dragon.
ancestor.
Yeah, you know that this is not a dragon.
Yeah.
Dragons are totally different. Or not you. You could think whatever you want, Stephen. I'm talking to Matthew.
Sure.
Hey, I believe you are Saurian?
Calician.
Ah, Calician. Forgive me, I was not aware. What ails you, my friend?
Hags and ghosts.
These are definitely ailments. And what is it that our mutual friend thinks that I might be able to do for you?
I was asked by my father's sister to come and find an Alder Clayson.
Well,
She thinks you would be willing to help where others haven't.
Of course. I am always willing to help. Where are your people? Where are the hags and the various ailments? How is the word showing themselves?
The swamp southwest of here is where my people call home. These new men have started draining part of the swamp, and now there are ghosts and decay where there wasn't.
I have seen this. Do the plants all wilt? Does all seem diseased, but no way to tell why?
Not all, but many plants and creatures in the area are coming out lesser.
I have seen this, and the further south I have gone, the more I have seen. I did not go far enough southeast, apparently.
I'll walk out from under the window, walk around to the front door, knock.
Excuse me. Let me answer the door. It is not standard hours.
Slam the hat back on.
That was wise. Very well done. I was about to advise of that. Coming to the
Don't
door.
entirely look like the same human.
The people who live... Actually, Brian, why don't you make me a knowledge local check?
Okay.
Knowledge local.
Let's checking my... All right.
Great.
25. Wow.
So when he's talking about the swamp and the new people, you think he's talking about Los Brazos de Santiago, which is the port on the Gulf of Mexico. It's relatively new and involved the project that built it required a good deal of swamp draining.
I see.
There's a knock at the door.
Alder crosses to the door loudly telling the person on the other side that he will be there in just a moment, and there is nothing to worry about. But business hours are from 7:30 to 4. And opens the door.
I'll look him up and down, reach into my coat, and pull out a badge. José María Raúl Pérez Prado de la Garza, Policía Nacional Mexicana. I think I've got some information for you.
Come in. I gather you have been over listening?
I was.
Well,
I do apologize for that, but your friend here looked very mysterious.
He does at that. I am occasionally guilty of over-listening myself, so I can forgive you this time. But let our young friendship not have this happen again. So, what is it that you know for us?
A few months ago, a relic was stolen from a church in Mexico City. It was a dark and old relic, one that is known to blight crops, to harm plant life and animal life, and to cause the appearance of ghosts, among other things. I think whatever it is that you are speaking about is probably caused by this thing I seek, and by the outlaw I seek who stole it.
And do we know his name?
I don't.
He said he stole a religious artifact from Mexico. Have you guys heard of anyone in town with something new, something religious?
No, I kind of thought, I mean, they probably would be wanting to keep that secret if it's stolen, but...
Well, with the growth of the town, someone looking for to make a fast buck, unless they are, using it for nefarious deeds.
Well, they may not be doing it on purpose. The artifact requires maintenance. So if it is not maintained, it starts to activate, as it were.
I see.
Whoever stole it may not be aware that they are the cause of this, although I suppose it has been long enough that they might have started to figure it out.
Brian, did you get the email I sent you with the telegrams?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. And then you would know, because you're pretty close to him, that now I'm blanking on the name, that William Henry Greenwood was actually recently traveling to Mexico, but he has not returned yet. He went with his wife, Maura.
Ah. So yeah, I mentioned I do know a gentleman that was going to Mexico. Mr. Greenwood has not returned.
Mr. Greenwood is the engineer?
The Rio Grande Western Railroad, yes. He's the chief engineer, I believe is the word.
I don't think
Did anyone in his party come back?
Do we know of anyone else?
No, as far as you know. Actually, Palmer recently came by your office asking if you'd heard anything from him. He was wondering if, say, a telegram for him wound up in your office by mistake, because he had not heard and it was very anxious.
No. Some people, have been wanting to hear from him, and I haven't heard from him or anyone who we would have been going with.
I see.
There we have a quandary then, huh?
In case you missed it, you do have a telegram that is addressed to, at the time, someone you didn't know, but now you've heard their name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
She said, hinting broadly.
Well, I mean, does seem to line up. There has been information, apparently a certain suspect, I have heard, don't go spraying this around too far, but there's been word that a certain suspect that was on board a ship to Los Brazos de Santiago. And, if
a suspect?
Yeah.
What do we suspect him of?
That was not disclosed. But if I believe our new friend here is from the southeast, in the swamps there, if his area is subject to such corruption, and someone was going in that direction with some sort of relic that'd be causing such malfeasance.
Here, let me see it.
Oh, I'd have to go get that from the telegraph office, but if you
Oh,
wanna, I can go get that.
yes, I will need to collect this as well.
All right. Yeah, I can give you that information.
Do you go now or?
Yeah, dude.
I will look at. None of you are lawmen, correct?
Well, not in the strictest
Aw.
sense, but I've always appreciated a shiny badge.
So then, no.
No.
Well, if you wanted to deputize me, is what I was saying.
I cannot. But it is better if you are not lawmen. The relations right now are very complicated.
Mm.
Well, Deputy Alder just had such a lovely sound to it.
Well, if this goes well and you come back down to Mexico, then we can talk. In any case, I need to head into this swamp. I need to figure out if this person is there and if this artifact is there. And hopefully stop all the problems that it has been causing.
Well, if our new friend needs my assistance in the swamp, then perhaps it's best we travel together.
That is fine.
You will fix the issue?
I am going to try my best.
You mentioned spirits in the swamp?
Ghosts?
Spirits, very well. I would be interested in coming along if that is okay.
That is fine. Just know that it will probably be quite dangerous.
Not really worried about danger.
Do you have a firearm?
I do not.
Would you like to get one?
That's okay. I'm fine. I can take care of myself.
Oh. Well, good for you. Mr. Telegram Man.
Oh, yes, sir.
What is your name?
My name is August Westerly.
It is a pleasure to meet me. You can call me Chema.
Hello, Gemma. Nice to meet you.
And if you all don't mind, let's keep it down on me being a federal agent.
Absolutely.
Federal?
Just forget that word.
I have no reason to spread gossip or rumor.
Well, good.
I am occasionally myself guilty, but I think in this situation I can hold it.
Well, hopefully this will not take very long. I should be able to just get in, retrieve it, and you will have seen the last of me.
But all right.
Okay.
Maybe not.
This is not surprising. August, will you be joining us?
Oh, me? No, I don't think that. I think I'm going to be sticking around here. Got telegrams to send, and people need to have a business to run.
Well, I too
Very
have
well.
a business. Business. What's a business? Business.
Well, if I can at least get the telegrams from you, that would be very helpful to me.
Yes,
I would like to
absolutely.
have as much information as possible. On the way there, somebody could explain to me what a hag is. That would be very good.
Yes.
So we should go now? It's getting rather dark. Is this a thing that needs to be done immediately tonight, or would this be better at first light?
Hmm.
When it comes to ghosts, I prefer to meet them in the daylight.
That is a good question. About how wide is the spread of influence here? What is your name? I point at Rob's character.
Ashen.
Eshen. About how wide is this? 10 kilometers? 15 kilometers?
Just tilts his head, quizzical look.
Paces? Days travel?
Mm. How widespread is it, Sam?
So basically, you're not exactly sure from how, say, far west and east it goes exactly. It's starting. You say the nexus is probably actually the port, or at least the former Hag territory that's very near the port. And the port itself is about 2 days ride south from here, so significantly longer if you're hoofing it. And it is about from there. It's going, maybe 20 miles into the swamp. It's starting to get pretty bad.
Is vast. Couple days travel across.
I see. Well, that means that this thing has been here for some time then. Very well. Let us find the telegrams. There is something to be said for moving during the daylight, but if our friend here knows the area and he is comfortable moving around at night, it might also be better for me to move around at night.
Oh, to be fair, you just got into town and rode a full day before you got here, so you're feeling pretty tired.
That's true. All right. Then scratch that. I'm sleepy.
But
let's set out early tomorrow then.
Very well. I believe most of us are staying at the Green River boarding house, so perhaps we should just meet in the lobby?
Yes, let us do that.
August, are you sure you do not want to join us?
No. I think I'll get our friend here the information he needs and bid you all farewell on your way.
I turn to Rob. What's your character's name again? Essen?
Eshen.
Eshen?
Yep.
Okay. Eshen, do you have a place to stay?
South.
Okay, I mean for tonight.
South.
Oh, maybe he doesn't want to sleep here. Maybe there is like a rock or a pond that he wants to be at.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
We can meet you at the edge of town tomorrow.
All right.
Well, very well. Alder, good night.
Where do you think you're going without me?
I suppose we're all going back. I'm sure you want to lock up here.
Oh, that's simple. You take the key and you lock the door like this and ba-bing. You know that I live at the boarding house, yes?
Ah, right.
Ah, good. Not particularly important information. I just wanted to share.
Well, then we should walk back. So we walk back with haste?
I'll go with August to the telegraph office.
Yep. I go locate the message and sent you that information there.
Okay. Oh, this is for me.
Oh. Well, I'm glad we were able to get the information to you then.
Oh, I thought this was going to be a slight federal crime for me to read this, but it's actually great.
I was a little concerned there too. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad that it wasn't too much of a breach of contract providing you with that necessary information.
Oh, no, it is fine. Do I owe you anything?
I think I can cover it. That's fine. I
Oh, well, thank you very much.
wish you luck in your investigation. Wish you luck there.
Oh, thank you. And I know I said it before, but let us keep this as quiet as possible. This suspect is canny. I have been tracking them all through northern Mexico and the southern United States, so if they get wind of this, they might leave before I can get them.
Absolutely, no problem. Yeah, I will keep this to myself.
Thank you. It was
Also,
a pleasure to meet you.
Just as a point of reference, you've been in telegraph offices before. This is a particularly nice one. Again, despite the fact that this is a small town, it's like got like nice little benches for people to sit and wait, and like a nice like desk for where all the equipment is set up. There's like clearly room for like multiple telegraph operators, and yeah, just like lots of nice little slots. This clearly been like taken care of very well. It is a Western Union office, but a well maintained one.
There is some real money coming into this town, huh?
I try to do what I can here. Yeah, it's pretty. We tend to be pretty busy during business hours.
Lots of people stopping by, working on the railroad, sending things to their families.
Yeah, very much that. Yes, news and information coming and going. Just a lot of information.
Well, I suppose I should actually check back. Would you mind sending a telegram? Is that okay?
No, not at all. I'd be happy to.
Okay.
So yeah, go over to the get a pen and paper, and so yeah. What would you like me to send here?
Send it to this person. I don't know how actual telegram address. I would guess to the telegram office in Mexico City.
Yeah, you're
Telegram Mexico.
The federal your superior, the federal offices would have their own telegraph office in place, so you could just direct it there.
Okay.
Because they don't want, some random Western Union person reading their mail.
Yep. Let's see. So we'll address it to Francisco Nieto.
All right.
So it'll be in Redemption, Texas, or in Redemption, TX.
Mm-hmm.
Have a lead. Pursuing now. That's it.
All right. I tap that out and send it on its way.
Thank you very much. How much is that?
Don't worry about it. I'll cover it.
You are good. You are a friend.
Yeah, and I wish you again the luck on your endeavors.
Oh, thank you. I'll about face and walk on out.
And yep, I'll lock up, turn out the lights, and make my own way off.
I think that's a good place to perhaps end it this week. Thank you so much for downloading and listening to Pathfinder Weird Western, is what this one's called. If you have any questions, podcast at majorspoilers.com. And if you want to see this show continue and everything at Major Spoilers continue, I would encourage you to head over to patreon.com/majorspoilers. If you feel these episodes are worth 50 cents a show, $1 a show, we could certainly use your support. It's over there at patreon.com/majorspoilers. So until next time, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2017 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.